Alright, today we're continuing on with our series on creating an e-commerce store using WooCommerce, WordPress, WooCommerce, and the Canvas theme. If you remember, we've been adding products and doing various other settings type of things, getting some products in our database, but we left our theme looking like this, and it's kind of plain, boring, ugly. So today we're going to begin the customizing of the theme. First thing I want to do is I want to go to 3 sidebars, and I want to shrink this sidebar here. It's just way wider than what we actually need. Now Canvas has the ability, let's go to if you created a child theme, if you've been following along and created a child theme, you already have this. You'll see on the side here Canvas child theme. If not, you'll see Canvas theme. In order to do everything we're going to do in this video, you need a child theme, because unfortunately Canvas only allows so much customization. Some of it actually has to be done in the child theme. And so if you don't have the child theme, I'll leave a link below to the video where we made the child theme, and I'll also leave the code snippets. I'll put it in a zip file, the actual to the point we are at the end of this video, with both functions PHP and theme functions here, and the Stylesheet.css for the child theme. But I will show you in this video what code we're going to use. So let's get started. Let's go to the Canvas child theme, settings, and we'll go to the layout tab. And here you'll see the layout we have is the right sidebar that we just saw. We want to go a right and left sidebar here, so let's go ahead and save that. And you will need to go to Appearance, Widgets, and add you some widgets to the secondary sidebar. Let me see where we at. Let's go to Appearance, Widgets. The secondary sidebar is actually the left-hand sidebar. The primary sidebar is right-hand. If you recall, we had widgets from earlier videos that's already in there. I've included some in my secondary. I just stuck a meta widget in there, and I put a text widget with some lorem ipsum in it, just so we can have something there to see what it looks like. You can also include footer widgets, and you have to activate which footer you want from that display area. But we're not going to get into the settings on the display area, but we're not going to get into the footer widgets. We're just going to deal primarily with the sidebars and customizing the fonts. So as we see right now, we just added that third side, the 3 columns: the left sidebar, the middle section, and the right sidebar. And this is just out of the box what WooCommerce does. It still leaves this humongous right-hand sidebar. In my opinion, is way too big. This side, the left-hand side, is almost right. We're going to make it just a little bit bigger. We're going to shrink this, and we're going to enlarge the middle section some. I've got this open up in Chrome because I like using a Chrome code inspector tool. So this is pretty simple. What we want to do is we want to inspect and see what we're looking at, see what we have to deal with here. And as you scroll around here, you can see the different sections get highlighted. And I'm going to right click in there and on the left hand side, and I'm going to come up and I see sidebar alt controls the left hand side, right? And I see the aside with the ID of sidebar controls the right hand side, and I see the, let's go ahead and click here so I can get it to open up. This would be the main section, and just because I've been playing around with this, I happen to know main section and this sidebar, even though they appear to be separate, and they are, but they're wrapped together right here with this div. So we have to take into account the total wrap plus them 2 individually. Okay, so we're dealing with main sidebar and container. We're dealing with the main, we're dealing with the sidebar, and we're dealing with the alt sidebar. Those are the 4 areas we need to play with. So first let's look at the main sidebar container here, main and sidebar container. If we go down here, we see there's a width of 80.85%. So I'm just going to copy this entire rule. Let's go ahead and start a new page here. So that's both of them together. And then we're going to grab the right sidebar and grab its width. And it's got a width of 39.47%. And we will go grab the left-hand sidebar width as well. It's got a width of 17.02%. Okay, now, because we know, and oh, we need a, what is this? We need main. I knew I was missing something. We need to grab main too. And that's got a width of 57.89%. Now, we remember main and the right-hand sidebar together make up that entire area. So we're going to put main just right above the right hand. So main and the right-hand sidebar are fit within a width of 80.85%. The remaining percentages is 17.02. That doesn't come out to 100%. It comes out pretty close though. Let me see. I think it's 97 point something. Let's see. 17.02 plus 80.85. Yeah, it's 97.87%. It's not exactly 100%. It's close enough. I'm guessing it's at this point because of natural margins and padding that are built in with Bootstrap, which is what Canvas is built on, is the Bootstrap framework. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know 97.87% is close enough. It doesn't need to be an exact 100%. It just can't be more than 100%. And now, if we clear that out, and we take a look at what, on this 80.85%, these two numbers fill it up, the main and the right-hand sidebar. So let's just take a look, see what those are real quick. So we got 57.89 plus 39.47 equals 97.36. Again, I'm guessing that they're allowing for the gutters and the paddings and margins that Bootstrap has built in. They're allowing room for that. Would be my guess. And so we're looking at 97 point some percent for both these two, and this together is what's left over. So whatever adjustments we make, we want to make sure they're exact. So this one and this one should come up to 97 point some percent. So I want to bring this to 20%. I want to bring the left sidebar to 20%. So we're going to subtract 17.02 from 20% to see what the difference is. 20 minus 17.02 equals 2.98. So I'm going to bring this to 20%. I'm going to subtract 2.98 from the main area and the right sidebar area together. So we're going to go 20% here. So that way our numbers still add up. So 80.85 minus 298. So we'll just go minus 80.85 equals 77.87. So we need to change that number to 77.87. 77.87. Okay, that takes care of our left sidebar and the entire content area for the main sidebar, or the entire area for the main sidebar. The primary sidebar, right-hand sidebar, and the main content area. Now we want to do the same thing here. What I want to do is I want to reduce the right-hand sidebar to 25%. We'll make it just a little bit bigger than our left-hand one because it is the primary sidebar. You'll have your things like your Ajax search or various other things that could take up a little more space, need a little more space. Ajax navigation, that's what I meant for the WooCommerce. But anyhow, so what I want to do is I want to bring the right-hand sidebar or the primary sidebar to 25%. So we're going to take 39%, subtract 25% so we know what the difference is. 39.47 minus 25 equals 1447. So I'm going to reduce this to 25%, and I'm going to add 14.47 to the main area, main content area. So plus 57.89 equals 72.36. 72.36. Okay, now all of our numbers all add up the same way. They're just kind of rearranged, right? But they're the exact same numbers that Canvas had going on to begin with. And we've just kind of, let's move this back up above the main. Yeah, we're going to move this back up. I just like to keep things in order. We're going to move this back up above the main area and the right sidebar because that's what it's capturing right there. So now we got those numbers. They all add up exactly as they were in Canvas before we got started, right? So what we need to do is we need to go to our child style sheet and make those changes. Now we're going to put a new plugin because I don't like this way this style sheet is. Make sure that's saved here. I don't like the way it is because it doesn't have any numbering. So I'm going to grab a plugin called WP Editor. Let's go ahead and grab that real quick. It's a free plugin, WordPress repository. Oh crap, I didn't want a new post, I want a new plugin. There we go. So we're going to search, this is called WP Editor. It gives us some nice editing style, features for our CSS and other, our functions, PHP and stuff. The main thing it does is add this numbering. Is the thing I'm interested in. So we're going to activate that. And we're going to go to Appearance. Let's refresh so it picks up that plugin. You'll see on their Appearance we now have a new tab called Theme Editor. So, and we can close that one out. We're not dealing with that. And that's what it looks like now. It gives us nice numbering. So let's go ahead and put our new CSS in. Let's give it a title. It's going to be right and left sidebar. There we go. I like to title everything, so if I need to go look for it, I can find it easily. Now I'm going to show you something. We're going to save that, and you're going to see that it's not going to actually do anything. There's a reason for it. It's because these are media queries. And in media queries, you need to, this is our CSS rule, this area here, and this is our media query, this area here. We need to take our CSS rule and wrap it inside the media query. So just add a bracket there and come down below and add a bracket. And do that on all of them. And this way we're wrapping our CSS rule inside the media query itself. And do one more. Another thing I like about WP Editor is going to give us a nice little save message when we're done. See? And now if we go refresh, you'll see that we now have a nicer looking left-hand sidebar, a shrunk down right-hand sidebar. And if we swap out and go to the breakpoints, find the first breakpoint, see it breaks out to just about 100% here, and it collapses those nice and neatly. And then we'll do it again, And it continues. Let's go look at our product page and see how it looks. And it looks nice. And again, there's a break point right there. It's still looking nice. Collapses nicely like it's supposed to. And it's bringing on out. And let's go to the first break point here. There it is. And see, it collapses real nice. So there, we have our CSS taken care of for our sidebars and our main content area to look a little nicer, be a little larger in the middle, a little smaller on the edges. And 3 sidebars fit quite nicely. Now the last thing we want to do, and this is going to be real quick, is adjusting fonts. So we're going to go to the new Canvas Child theme, settings. And under general styling, you'll see font controls for miscellaneous things. It's not posting pages or your sidebars, but miscellaneous things like your breadcrumbs, site title, things of that nature. So you can go in here and let's just give an example. I like Droid Sans for general text, right? So we're going to go Droid Sans, and I'm going to exaggerate it so we can see it quickly. I'm going to bring it up to 33 inches or 33 pixels. We'll save changes. So this is how you kind of figure out where that's being affected at. So let's take a look. And you'll see it affected the site title and the tagline. That's really the only way you're going to be able to figure out what's affecting what is just by doing it on the general styling. Again, the general styling is not your pages and your posts and your titles like that. So I'll go ahead and set this back for now. But just play with that and just remember that's your general. Miscellaneous stuff, actually. It would be a better way to term it, be miscellaneous stuff. So I'm going to save that back to the normal state. And let's go to posts. And your post page title font. And you got heading fonts. Where are they at? Okay, post page title font probably is the heading font. That's what I'm guessing. So let's go with, I'm going to go with Droid Serif for the title font. And made is like author, date, things like that. I'm just going to change that to Droid Sans and leave it as is. And page, I'm going to change it to Droid Sans. This is your regular text. And I'm going to leave the more button as is. Read more. I'm just going to leave the rest as is. So let's take a look at a product here so we get all the meta and everything. Oh, that's another thing that the general styling did was that I changed all that back, so it should be good back to where it is. Again, you just have to kind of check and see what it's actually affecting. It's hard to really know. So here we got some meta here. So let's go ahead and save what I just did and see how it affects it. Save here. There we go. And let's refresh. And what am I missing here? That didn't affect my, but I bet it did affect my home though, didn't it? Yeah, I changed my home page. So again, I got my home page title. Post titles will also change to that. You'd have to play around with it to figure out where the product titles are being done at. Oh, there we go. Shop titles done. Okay, these product titles, I'm not exactly where they're at, but again, that's just something you would play with. But on widgets, we see our widgets right now, how they're styled. So we can go in here and we can change those too. Widget title, let's change that to a Droid Serif. And widget text, let's change that to Droid Sans. Save that. And see, you notice it changed it to the serif and the Droid Sans. Now, I'm not exactly sure where the titles and things are for products, but I'm sure I can figure it out after playing with it for a while. But you know where to make those changes at now, right? So that's really all there is to this video, this particular tutorial. I will leave a link to grab the child style CSS code snippets, and I'll leave the entire child theme zipped up to this point where we're at if you just want to go ahead and upload it if you haven't already made one. And I will leave a link to the video that showed you how we made the original child style sheet for this particular site. Visit pluginforge.com for really good deals. $10 each for premium WooCommerce and WordPress plugins and themes. Skeeter Z71 for free video tutorials on web and graphic design. How about giving me a like or a share? Leave a comment or all of the above, and you have a good day.